Welcome back to another episode on Journey to Authenticity, a podcast helping you to become fully authentic on your journey to success. I'm your host, Braiden Belnap, and I'm a human just like you, striving to build a dream life, all while I stay true to myself. But it's the new year. Are you ready for this? Or are you scared that it's going to just be like last year or the year before that or the year before that? Let's be real. You don't need a new year to become a new you. You don't need another year to accomplish those big goals that you have. But we're here, so what are you going to do with it? I'm here, joined with my beautiful wife, Braiden Belnap, and we are going to guide you so that you can become the new you this year, so that you can go accomplish those goals. With that in mind, welcome to the show, Megan.
Thank you.
These podcasts have been so fun having you join me.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Are you ready for the new year?
Yes.
Well, you don't seem very excited.
Well, it's weird because we're filming this in November.
Well, you don't got to tell them that.
I know. So I'm like, yeah, I'm ready. Like, no, I'm not ready for the new year. I'm ready for the new year, but I really am excited for Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Well, that goes back to the whole concept that we're talking about this now, but we also have goals that we're crushing this quarter. And it goes along with that messaging that we don't have to wait for the new year to make good things happen.
Yeah, you can do it all year.
Absolutely. So, I mean, we have things coming up this quarter where we're going to be revamping our new year, right? And we do it every quarter because there's always a beginning to have.
Yeah.
I mean, when is the beginning? Who determines that? When you're drinking too much champagne with your friends on New Year's Eve? Or when you wake up in the morning? Or just because you ended the night because you had a bad day and you're like, okay, no more of these bad days. Let's start having good days. I mean, who says we have to have bad days? What if we just had bad moments?
It's so true because people get lost in the new year and they're like, okay, I'll do this next year. I'll do this next year. I'll do this next year. And they put it off. I was like, why not just choose now? Why not just like do the thing that you want to do? Oh, I want to start waking up early. I'll just put that on my New Year's resolution. Just do it tomorrow. Just say, hey, I'll wake up 15, 20 minutes earlier and then work your way up to what you want your goal to be. You don't have to wait until next year to accomplish the things that you want to do now.
Absolutely. And so, I mean, let's be real though, right? I mean, shining a light on both me and you, we've had challenges this year as individuals, as a couple, and business. There's been challenges. And that's the reality of life. But there's two different aspects, right? There's the victim and there's the victor. And the truth is, if you can look back on your years of your life and you've found yourself saying, new year, new me, new year, new goals. And a month, 3 months, 6 months, you're like, oh, this is the hardest year. Yet my assumption is you've been saying that all along, every year. I think it's time to look in the mirror. Mm-hmm. Look in the mirror. Are you going to be somebody that you're going to follow this year? In 2025? Or are you going to be somebody that you let down? I don't know about you, but I'm not going to let myself down.
No, I don't want to let myself down.
I'm not going to let us down. I'm not going to let the world down because this podcast alone is span amongst the world. Mm-hmm. If we give up, who are we giving up on? It's not just us. And you may not have a podcast listening to this. You may not be touching the world. But what about your family? What about your kids? What about you? What about your husband? What about your wife? What about your future partner? Maybe you're listening to this and you want a future partner. Are you actually to the status, the being to attract the partner that you want right now? I mean, again, it comes down to we have to look in the mirror first before we actually move forward. And that's the power of awareness, is that it will literally set you free or it will keep you handcuffed. And it goes right alongside. I don't even think I finished the analogy of victim and victor. A victim sees the challenge, the opportunity ahead, and creates a plan and path moving forward to make it happen, to overcome that challenge. A victim sees the challenge, sees the frustrations of life, and they sit there and they sulk. And they're the people that wait for the new year, drink a little too much champagne on December 31st. And then a week later happens. And they're like, oh, maybe next year.
It is good to reflect and self-reflect at the end of the year. We do that very often, like monthly and quarterly, but we do at the end of the year kind of reflect on the year we've had and just kind of talk about everything and then the things we want to accomplish in the next year. But it's more we've created those goals throughout the year and then we're just going and looking at them. They're not necessarily New Year's resolutions. They're just goals that we've had. And so it's not bad to do a year-end review, and it's not bad to set New Year's resolutions or things that you want to do, but sometimes you can overwhelm yourself with the amount of New Year's resolutions you want to do.
It's the intention.
Yes. And so where it's like, oh, I want to do this and I want to do this and this and this and this and this, and you have this list of like 50 things, and then you overwhelm yourself with the things that you want to do, you're not going to get, you might get some of them done, but you're not going to get all of them done. And so making sure to...
Well, and you can do the 50. It's just, can you fit that in your schedule?
Yeah.
It's setting the plan. It's setting the path forward for the year. Most people set the goal and be like, woo!
Well, it's just like my vision board that I created. I had all these things on my vision board, and you're like, dude, this is something you can just schedule on your schedule right now. This doesn't need to be a part of your vision board. And I'm like, what? But it's true. And so that can also be something with your New Year's resolutions. And maybe think about creating a vision board instead of New Year's resolutions. And you can use that as your tool of the things you want to accomplish instead of doing New Year's resolutions. And you can do a vision board right now. You don't have to wait till next year.
The things that I was telling her that could be off her vision board, right? When you create a vision board, which 1000%, all of you guys need to go get one. There's a free gift on my website. You just throw your email in there and you have a guide, a ebook per se, on how to execute a vision board. And it's not just your visions. An encompassed vision is looking at your past, looking at your present, looking at what you really want to accomplish for life, and looking at your next steps. Because oftentimes when you just are setting that next step, that next goal, it's like shooting in the dark. You don't even know where you're shooting. Because it's like, oh, I'll do this, I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll do this. When you have a life vision, which by the way, these life visions isn't specific goals. I'm going to do this when I'm 55. No, it's just giving you a sense of direction for who do you actually want to be? What do you want your relationships to look like? What do you want to accomplish in your career, your lifestyle, even material items? Because it's important to be selfish in that aspect too, because it's actually selfless to go buy a car or whatever it is you want. Then when you work backwards, you can directly see the next steps you have to accomplish in order to become that person, to accomplish that life. So let's take a step back, right? When we're revamping our year, it's New Year's resolutions with a twist per se, right? We're setting out our year with intention. We're taking the time, and we'll break these down in detail, of course, but we set a time each year in December before we get to the new year to really look at the year. First, we look at what could we have done better as individuals, as a couple, as a family, in business, in finances, every aspect of life. And where did we do good so that we can take that forward? From there, we create an intention for the year. We're saying intentional a lot. Guess what our intention was for last year?
Intentional. Our word was intentional.
Yeah, intentional. Intentionally living day to day, each moment, each day, each goal we set. We wanted to make sure that whatever we were doing was aligning with what allowed us to enjoy this day, this moment, this journey, but also ensuring that we got where we wanted to be. And then we look at where we've been and where we're going. and we as a couple determine together what would be the best goals for us as individuals, what would be the best goals for us as a couple, and what would be the best goals for us business financially. And then we break those over quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4. And I'm here to tell you that quarter 4 is a long way away when you're listening to this, right? So, and then the final step is, and this is more not a step, it's just a mention that what's on your vision board is your next quarter. These are no if, and, or buts. When you set a goal, there's no if, no but, no and, nothing. There's no reason as to anything that should get you in the way of accomplishing that goal. Those are your set in stone goals. You can maneuver, add goals, minus goals throughout the year if it starts to not align. Those are your flexible goals, but what's in front of you is that next quarter and you execute fully. That's what's on your vision board.
Yeah. And that really helps set up a plan to actually achieve things. You can want things, you can think things, you can say, oh, I want this, I want that. But actually putting it on paper and getting it down on a vision board, it makes you more accountable for those goals, and it makes you actually follow through with those goals.
Yes. And by the way, it's not to say you can't have long-term goals on your vision board. Right now, by the time I'm 30, I'm 25, I will be a millionaire. We will be millionaires.
Yeah, you better. I'm right there.
I'll pay you your salary.
Hey.
You can be my wife for an annual
Your trophy
salary.
wife?
Yeah. I just better get breakfast in bed every morning. And my feet rubbed.
Your coffee, that's all you eat.
Eat?
Yeah.
I hope I don't eat coffee.
Consume. That's the only thing you consume.
I would be concerned about myself if I was eating coffee, and I would hope that you'd be concerned for me.
Yeah.
But again, with that, it's okay to have long-term goals, but it's also important to have those short-term goals. Because I actually was in a position where a couple of years ago, on my vision board, all I had was long-term goals. Don't get me wrong, it was exciting. At the same time, it was overwhelming. And when I got those short wins, like for example, we had a monthly goal: get a 9mm, get concealed carry, get you a taser. That was just a month goal. Mm-hmm. Like, we're going to go execute this month.
Yeah.
We did it, and it felt good to accomplish. Then we have the 3-month goals, then we have the 5+ years, and that's okay. Yeah. That's okay. But for this year, if you have a goal in quarter 4, you don't need to have that on your vision board necessarily.
Yeah.
Unless you want to. You should have 3 to 9 things on your vision board at any given time.
Yeah.
And I've tried every possible way to set goals. Just speak them in the mirror every morning or night. I've written them down. You name it. I've done everything. Nothing compares to vision board. And by the way, it's not the woo-woo vision board y'all are thinking about. It's a very intentional vision board. And that's why I would encourage you to go to my website and get that freebie.
Yeah. Something that I love about your vision board is that you have the picture of what you want to accomplish, but then you have how you're going to execute it. And so it's not just, okay, like, for example, us buying a house. It wasn't, okay, we're going to buy a house. Happens when it happens. It's like, okay, this is how we're going to save money for a down payment. This is the areas we want to look in. This is the type of house we want. This is the stuff that we want the house to have. And so that was...
Yeah.
That helped us.
I am creating blank by blank.
Exactly.
I am creating a single family house by December 31st, 2025, whatever you want, by doing XYZ.
Yeah.
Right? You're making your goal timeable. You're making it measurable. You're making it specific, and you're making it with a purpose. Because at the very end, you're going to say, my purpose for creating blank is blank. And by the way, purpose doesn't have to be I'm going to change the world. It can be selfish. And by the way, again, selfish is being very selfless. When you win, others win. Mm-hmm. And 100%. By the way, if you're a parent listening to this, you're building businesses, whatever the case is, if you're not chasing your goals, even the things that you just want because that's what you enjoy, what's that doing for your kids? I mean, I know, and you know, You're telling your kids that they can accomplish anything that they dream of. So why don't you go do that? And I don't care if you're a parent of 20 years and you haven't been chasing what you want. What will it do for your 20-year-old to start to see that mom and dad are chasing their dreams? Mom and dad are buying the things that they want. That'll show your kids without you even telling them that they can also do the same.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, you think of like Anne Washburn and her story of how she was like a very anxious and she's a very introverted person, and she wanted to come out of that. She wanted to be confident. She wanted to live a different life than she was living, and she made the steps to change that. And when we had her on the podcast and she was sharing her story, and she was saying that like she had some older kids and some younger kids, and the older kids had a different experience than the younger kids. And like it's just very important as a parent to live by example, because you can tell your kids all day long, go clean your room, go do this, but if you're not following through with the things that you want your kids to do, they're gonna be like, well, you're not doing it, why am I gonna do it? So that is something that is important to do as a parent, to make sure that you're living by example for your kids.
Absolutely. 1,000%. Adam Washburn was phenomenal to have on the podcast, and that would be another podcast to go listen to if you're really ready to become the person that you want to this year. We'll link that below. Back to you, my love. I mean, we've talked about a lot of the good things, right? In December, if you didn't do this in December and you're listening to this in January, even February, right? Look at what's been going on to cause you struggles. What have you been winning in that you want to take forward with you? Setting those goals. We really talked about that and setting the intention for the year. What have been some of your struggles since we started all of this?
With the...
Just in life. Like, did you ever fall into that trap of...
Oh, all the time.
Living new year, new me, and then falling short of that?
Yeah, well, for this year, like, my knee injury that I had in July, that set me back way bad, because I was working out, I was doing good, and then that happened, and I don't think I could start working out until, like, September-ish. Like, my doctor was like, you can't do anything for 3 months, period, and then after 3 months, then you can start kind of implementing things back in. It's November and I think I've worked out like maybe 3 times since my doctor said that I could start working out again. And so that has been something that I really have been intentional about doing. And those 3 times that I've worked out have literally been this week because I'm like, I'm going to get back on it. I want to start working out again. And it wasn't anything too crazy. Like, I just went on like 20-minute runs. I did like a 20-minute Pilates thing.
You started.
Yeah. So basically I started, but for a little while I was like, oh, I'll just start next week. I'll start next week. I'll get back into it. And then it was just like the time never felt right. And so I had to consciously make the decision, no, I'm going to do this for myself. I'm going to do this for my health. I miss working out. I miss the way that it feels. I feel like I've been off balance since I stopped working out. And it truly makes a difference in me and how I feel and everything. And so that is something that I kept putting off, that I was just like, okay, I'm going to just do it. I'm committing to it. And so with different things in life, it's very easy for people to kind of get into that mentality and say to themselves, oh, I'm just going to do this tomorrow. Oh, I really, really want to start this business. I really, really want to do this, but I don't have a business plan, so I'll make my business plan tomorrow. Well, tomorrow can turn into next week unless you're being very intentional about where you're putting that on your schedule. So I recommend and I challenge people, and I highly recommend that if there is something that you really want to do and you really want to accomplish on a personal level, business level, whatever that may be, truly intentionally put that on your schedule, create a vision board, set goals, do the things that you need to do to have the life that you want. and that you deserve. Honestly, truthfully, you deserve to have the life that you want to have. If you've been sitting here stuck in this, well, I don't know. They can do it, but I can't. Like, no, you can. You can do that. And truly believe in yourself. Like, we believe in you. And just know that, like, woohoo, we're cheering for you because you deserve to have the life that you want.
Absolutely. And with that, I know you already know this.
Yeah.
But is there any right time?
No, there isn't a right time. There's just what I say, your time.
Is there any perfect time?
No, there's never.
The perfect time's now or before, but you have to realize that life's always going to be busy, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's always going to be work. There's always going to be kids if you have them. There's always going to be something. So when are you going to be the person that you want to be for you?
Yeah.
We're always caught up for being the best mom, being the best partner, being the best this. When are you going to be first on your list?
Yeah, and you deserve to be first on your list, and it doesn't have to be this overwhelming, scary, big step. It truly starts with the little steps, and those little things add up to help you create the life that you want.
Absolutely. Now, just in summary, I know we've summarized this a couple of times, but you have to realize that the perfect time is now. Stop making excuses. Look in the mirror. What's been going right in life? What's been going really good that you want to carry forward with you? What are the next goals for this next year? Quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4. Go actually to my website and develop your true vision so that you can be intentional executing this year to be the person you want to be and achieve those things. And last but not least is set a plan. Google Calendars is amazing. Apple Calendars is great. Doesn't matter what you use. Set a schedule. You can accomplish anything as long as it fits on your schedule and as long as you execute. Most people say it takes 60 to 90 days to develop a habit. I call crap. Just build one habit. Follow your schedule. And then guess what? If you have working out on your schedule, because that's what you know it's going to be best for you, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. You do it. And naturally, you're going to come on top because it's just a matter of time that after you consistently executing working out or doing this certain activity on your business, that you're going to reap the reward of success. Mm-hmm. That in mind, is there anything else that you'd like to add in for them today?
Just one more thing, because this just popped in my brain.
You seemed really excited
No,
about
I
that.
am really excited about it because I love this.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
okay, never mind. Guess it'll be a mystery.
No,
This will be really quick. But there's something that I saw on TikTok. It was this person talking about this 5-minute rule. And so it's if you, let's say your goal is to wake up early in the morning and go to the gym or whatever it may be. And you wake up and you're like, oh, I do not want to be up right now. Wake up and then see in 5 minutes if you want to get back in bed. Most people are not going to want to get back in bed. If you're wanting to create a business plan, take 5 minutes. Say, I'm going to do this business plan for 5 minutes. If I decide I don't want to do it after 5 minutes, then stop doing it. But I have implemented that in my life, and I seriously have noticed a huge difference because once you start doing, it's the getting to do it. But once you start doing it, you're like, oh my gosh, I love this. This is amazing. Or like, especially with working out, for example, it's like you may not want to wake up and work out first thing in the morning, but I can promise you 5 minutes into that workout, you're gonna be like, oh, okay, this is good. This is for me. I'm feeling good. And so if you struggle with doing the goals that you want to, just say, okay, 5 minutes. That's all. And 5 minutes isn't that much time. I'm going to do this for 5 minutes. If you are having one of those days where you cannot get out of bed, where you cannot do things, that is something that I've implemented when I'm having those really hard days where I don't want to do anything. And it has made a difference. It has made a huge difference in how I execute things.
Absolutely. And the thing that I'd love to add on top of that is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 rule.
Yeah.
Mel Robbins is phenomenal at this, but if you're struggling even getting to that 5 minutes, so let's say it's in the morning, your alarm goes off and you want to hit snooze, just like you've always been doing for the last couple of years. And you want to stop that. Yes, 1,000% commit to five minutes. Turns out after 5 minutes, you're going to want to keep doing it. Let's be real. but it helps your mind get going. But to get the initially going, it's subconscious that when you count down, you think something's going to happen at that one. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get out of the bed. Go execute that 5 minutes. And if you don't want to get it, if you want to go back to sleep after 5 minutes, that's fine. But at least you started to take that step. And when you take that step, anything can happen.
Yeah.
With
That's
that
it.
in mind,
I won't be. I really love that.
No,
So.
thank you. And I know that's going to be helpful to all these entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs out here to
Neither of us can talk today.
really build that authentic life.
Yes.
With that in mind, everybody, if you liked what both myself and my beautiful wife, Megan, had to say today, be sure to subscribe and leave a review. Also, why I have you here, if you are really ready to transform your life, build that authentic you, build that authentic life, and you need that extra help, we all need help. Let's be real. I have my coaches even when I'm a coach. Go to braidenbelnap.com or the link below, and let's get your coaching journey set in stone together. Have a good one, everybody.